Okay, we're back with the dingo. We've done a few things to it since the last time. I've added some chains on my clips. I kind of like to do this to where when you pop them out you don't lose it. Did the same here in the back where you can see here. Little chains on the clips. We've also moved the rock slides in the bumpers closer. Added these little D hooks on the front and back. And I've also done for right now, see if you can see it here, I added this little hitch. It's upside down, but it's so I can tow my trailer. I got a hitch that's going to be coming for this. So I just wanted this for now. But what we're going to do to upgrade this thing right now is that 60 turn motor is just too slow. It's got a lot of torque and all, but it's slower than walking speed. So what I've done is I've bought another motor, and I've got the 35 turn from RC 4-wheel drive, and I think we'll use that instead. Be a little easier to walk behind this thing and all, because it's so slow when you walk behind it right now. So what we're going to do is take this out. And I'll tell you something else I'm going to do for right now is I'm going to go ahead and break this motor in with the water break in again. That way it's all broke in. So let me get the water break in going, and then we'll get back to this disassembly of the motor. So give me just a second to get my jug going, and I'll be right back. Okay, here we are again. As you see, I got the motor in there. Everything hooked up. And what we're going to do is water break this in. What I'm going to do is pull the motor out for just a minute and get most of the water in there. Myself, I like to use the distilled water because there's no minerals or anything in it. And then basically all you're going to do there you go. You want to get it just turning, and then kind of look at your clock. And what you're going to want to break this in for like 20-30 minutes. And then what I do is I just move it out of my way. I'll let that run. And as you see, the water is nice and clear for right now. But after that thing runs a little while, what it's going to do is the brushes are going to start to wear a little bit, and it'll leave a little bit of gunk around there. Alright, well, let's get back to the truck. Okay, so what we're going to do now is take this old motor off. I think I'm going to try and do is take it off with everything on for right now and see if that's even possible, and if not, we'll go to a plan B and drop the transmission. I don't like to take transmission on and off a whole lot because it you know, anything with plastic, it'll start to loosen up. So alright, well, let me get this cover off first. Get our magnetic tray down. Sorry for my head there. Alright, so now you got your transmission exposed. What I think I'm going to do is try and see if I can get that pinion off and make it a little easier to move everything around. Alright, got the pinion off. Change directions on the motor. The more I look at this, the more it's looking like we're going to have to disassemble the transmission. It's just not going to cooperate. So. Let's just take that off now and save all the trouble. Take the drive shafts off. Easier than trying to wiggle them drive shafts apart. Alright. Now we'll just take the motor off, and I think I'll use this motor on my Tonka trunk build, because 60 turn would probably be real good for that. Alright, and that's that motor out, which is a perfectly good motor. So like I said, it's pretty much brand new. When you look inside, you can see it's been broke in real nice. So this one's all ready to go, so I'm just going to put it back in this package I got here so it doesn't get lost or messed up. I can easily find it. Alright, so the next thing will be to do is get the new motor out, but that's going to take a little bit longer to break in. But as you can see already, the water's starting to get a little dirty. Nowhere near as clear as it was. So she's breaking in, she's getting there. So there's a lot of different things about that. Some people want you to change the speed. do it a little slow. I don't want to do anything to heat it up. Now that water is still ice cold. Yeah. So we're not heating the motor up any. So give me a few minutes to let that finish breaking in, and I'll be right back. Okay. Now we got the motor broke in, and as you can see, look how dirty that water was. So she's broke in. Get this over here out of the way. And now that I got her broke in, what I did was I took it outside and I took my blower and I blew all the water out the best I could. And then I took the Power Shot electric motor cleaner spray, and this will displace water. Sprayed it in there real good and got the rest of the trash and stuff out. So the only thing left to do is get just a little of this bearing oil. And since it was submerged, I'm going to put a little drop of oil on the bearings. And that ought to lube everything else up real good. So now it's ready to get the pinion on and start to install it. So give me a second to clean this mess up real quick and I'll be right back. Okay. So found a little flat spot on your motor there. I like to do this by hand at first and just kind of, you're not really tightening it, but getting it on there. Then when you, oh, that ended up being perfect. Now we'll that little crank. Get our motor line back up. Get our screws started here. And there again, it doesn't really matter, but I like mine to have the name of the motor facing out instead of the back half of it. So it doesn't really matter, it's just a preference. That way if the body's off, it doesn't look stupid. Now I've done this mash set with paper a few times and this, that, and the other, and that's generally a good idea, but I tell you, every time I've done it, I've had to go back in and mess with it. So I'm pretty sure it's got a lot to do with your thickness of paper, but myself, I just rather set it by eye and feel. I've been doing this quite a while now. I kind of got it just by doing it myself. You got to kind of get your mesh. I like mine to wiggle just a little bit, but not a lot. And every time I've done it with paper, I've been disappointed. But as a general thumb, if you've never done this, paper is a good place to at least start. And then I like to move mine around just to make sure everything's square, because sometimes these plastic gears aren't completely round, and there's nothing worse than a real loud transmission. So basically, myself, I like just a little wiggle room in there, so you know it ain't too tight. See, it looks like I do have one spot in here It's a little taller than everything else. So I'm glad I set it the way I did. Alright, so this is all tight. We can go ahead and put the cover back on out here just because it's easier than trying to do it while it's on the machine. And we'll put the transmission back in, and we'll have updated from that 60 turn to a 35, and it should do a lot better too. So I'm gonna double check on this ESC that I got. I didn't really get any paperwork or anything with this one, but I believe it'll take a 3-cell. So 35 turn with a 3-cell on it. It ought to move around good enough. I mean, it ain't racetrack speed, but at least this way when you're out there trailing, you don't have to wait for your truck to catch up to you. And that 60 turn, that's exactly what it was. I had to stop and wait for the truck to catch up, which to me was just a little annoying. So alright, well, now it's time to put the transmission back in. So give me just a second to set this in, and I'll be right back. Alright, got the transmission back in. Let's make sure everything turns. Oh yeah, that even turns better. That 60 turn was tight. A little piece of tape is wore out on me. I think what I'm just going to do is I'm going to tie wrap it. So that BEC didn't bounce around, come off. Okay, well, let me tie wrap this on and I'll be right back. Alright, well, we got her back together. Let's put the battery in and see what we got. I definitely wish there was an easier way to put these back clips in. If anybody knows one, let me know. What I do is I lay it down on the body and then push them forward. All the wires are tucked. I still got to tie wrap up a few of these. So I got a brake and everything and reverse. Alright, well, let me get this thing on the ground and we'll see if she's any faster here. But she's looking better. Okay, we're going. She's a little faster. Alright, well, she seems to run alright. I think what I'll do now is I'll throw my old GoPro trailer on the back there and we'll take her for a little run and see what it looks like. Alright, give me just a second. Alright, we'll give this a little test run. Alright, well, there's the dingo with a 35 turn motor. Like I said, it ain't a lot faster, but at least now it's faster than you can walk. And I do believe this will take a 3-cell, and of course the GoPro camera here, mount trailer there. So I've got a better hitch coming, so for just right now it's just kind of underneath the truck, which will work for right now. And oops, sorry for the finger there. Alright, well, that's it for this update. Just a little motor swap, and I hope everybody liked this, and please subscribe, please comment, and please like, and I'll see you next time. Alright, bye.